Hello and welcome to tutorial number 2. Now on this tutorial we're going to be covering the creating and scheduling of tours and also covering some of the other functions within the actual tour section. So we'll log into the demonstration again, and here we are back again into the dashboard. Obviously there's one tour being scheduled, but of course this will depend on, this will change as to what you've scheduled. But let's get up to tour types. Here you can see there are already 4 tours that have been created. A useful function of the system, if you have tours which really run on a very once a year basis, you can create a tour, but then you can actually archive it, and by archiving a tour, it will take it away from the main menu here, and it'll be just tucked away in the system itself. And then the following year, when you need it again, you can basically dust it down, unarchive it effectively, and then basically reschedule it once more. So let's just archive one of these tours just for an example, just to show you. So I'm going into the edit, and it says here archive this tour, so we're going to archive, and that's it. So if we were to go back into tour types, you can see it's gone. But if we go into archived, there it is there, we're going to edit this tour type, and we're going to unarchive. There we go. Alternatively, it's rather than doing that way, you can actually just simply turn them off and turn them back on again. So you don't really need to archive, but if it's just for neatness, just to sort of take it away from your view. Now let's create a new tour. So we click on the new tour type, and the tour name, we're going to call this one the 2-day border Reaver, because we're based on the borders in Peebles. Seems appropriate. And then the duration is 2 days, and we're going to create. So now we're into the bit more of the detail of the tour itself. So we know its name, we know its duration, default capacity. It depends on the size of vehicle that you're operating. Of course, this can always be changed anyway. You can always edit tours and amend them to obviously adapt and change to the changes in the working world and tour world. So we'll go with 29 because it's a midi coach size, and we're going to call this tour code, shall we call it the 2-day border Reaver, so the 2DBR. This colour here, well, this is just what denotes on the calendars. You can change this, but we'll just leave it on purple for the moment, and we'll update tour type. Now we've done that, but what you'll notice over here on the right is that there's the tour's there's still grey. There's not the ability to actually activate this. More details required. So we're going to now go into pricing and discounts. So we've got our standard price. So we're going to say standard price will be £70. Will be in a second anyway. I turn number lock on, it's always useful, isn't it? So £70, you can see an option here, free. You may think, why? Well, it depends. You see, you may be doing just a sort of freebie transfer, so stick it in as free. And you can also add a price bracket. Now this adding of price brackets, this is maybe perhaps you're doing a student and a senior citizen discount. So we're going to say, okay, the student and senior citizen discount is actually going to be £60. Now, on the previous tutorial, when we were in the payment terms section, and we created sort of the multi-day extended tour option for where you take 50% deposit. You can see here, there it is. We can select that. Now again, we could change this. We could create another payment term and use that instead, particularly for this tour. But for ease, we're just going to use the extended tours, and that will link in. Of course, it will be a 15% deposit up front, so we'll save that. Our next section, obviously, is moving along the top. It's all very methodical, really straightforward. Into supplements, I'd just like to bring your attention over here though. It's now gone from grey. You can now activate this tour because it's got enough detail. Okay, so you've got pricing and discounts, you've got a price, you can sell it. Supplements, let's add a supplement here. So we're going to be staying down the borders. We'll just say single person supplement, and that's an additional, we'll say £20 just for the sake of argument, and we'll save that. Just a moment. And there we go. And into the next section, custom text content. Now you may remember this from tutorial 1, and this was very much kind of to do with the actual going through the portal itself. And again, it does relate to this, but where this is useful is that you can actually kind of put tour highlights in here, or tour preview. So we'll just say tour visiting highlights as follows. So it's going to be, tour highlights are going to be, shall we say, Abbotsford House, Melrose Abbey, Smailham Tower. These are just tourist attractions in the borders. We'll leave it at that for the moment. But we're obviously this is just for the tutorial, but it gives you an idea. Booking confirmation. Now we can already have created a booking confirmation. This could be done in the other menus, and you've probably already done it. But you can, if you wish, change it for this particular one. As you can see here, it says leave blank to use default booking confirmation text. And of course, if I was to click on that, it takes us back into this. So you can see it's already happening. It's sort of defaulted out, gone back in again. But again, like I say, that's not really what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to show you how things work. So booking confirmation, like I say, you can put in individual booking confirmation there, or just leave it to default. So we're going to save that. Coming over here to the right, you can actually just turn the 2-day border reaver on right now, or we can take it off again. If I go back into tour types now, as you can see, there it is. So let's turn it on. Now, we've created the tour, we've created the price, we can obviously add in supplements. You can obviously see there's greater flexibility there to add and take away from the tours. Very, very adaptable, and also very, very quick to do. There's no hanging about, waiting for the sort of have to send information away, then have it back from an IT person. It's done, you do it, easy. Okay, so if we were to edit the tour, we'd click on the cog, but we're already happy with what we've done. Let's add a new tour of this type. So we've got the 2-day border reaver here. Of course, we can select the other ones, but we're doing 2-day border reaver. And we'll go to the calendar, and we'll say our departures are going to start on April the 2nd. And our departure time we shall make 9 o'clock. And automatically activated. Again, you can say no, but again, this is just a fail-safe mechanism. Again, it's just part of the management, it's part of the kind of whole idea of the system, is that you've got control over what you're doing at all times. So you can see here, do not repeat. Now, as I was saying to you before, remember, you have the function whereby you can do it as a one-off. So of course, for particular tours at particular times of year, this is what you would want to use. But for the sake of this this demonstration and this tutorial. We're going on to repeating it, of course, and you can do it on a daily basis. So you can repeat the tour every few days. But I think we're going to run this once a week on a Monday. So we're going to have it weekly and recurring every 1 week. But of course we can change this to recur over 1 to 7 weeks. But generally speaking, one will do for the moment. And how many weeks are we going to repeat this over? Well, you've got an option here to go up to 24. So we'll select 24 to go over the summer season. And we're going to create that tour. And hey presto, if you'll notice it goes from tour types into tours along the top tabs, and you can see it's all scheduled in there every Monday. And we can go into calendar view, and we'll just skip on to the next month, and there you go. So we can actually see that's the Wildest Wales that was already scheduled on the system, and as you see there's the 2-day Border Reiver. I'll just come down, so there you go. So there we go, there's how to schedule tours, that's how to create them. It's very easy, of course, this is all part of the system. And like I say, if we decided to change this tour in some way, we can go back in and edit it, and we can change the default capacity, say 22, then we'll go with that, and update tour, and that will update for all of them, okay? But say we don't want to update for all of them, what we can do is just keep the 29 as our default, and we can update again. But now what we can do, if on particular tours that are scheduled, we go back into the tours tab along the top, and we can actually edit these individually. So for example, say Monday the 9th of April, just after Easter this year, not busy at all, unfortunately, everybody's been and gone and done their tours, we can just turn it off, okay? And that means it will not be, you cannot in no way buy that through the portal. If we turn it back on again, or we need to use a smaller vehicle perhaps, if we edit this and we say, right, okay, we're not going to run a 29-seater, it's going to be a 16-seater, and we'll change that as well, 16. We can add a note if we wish, we can even change the price if we want. It's again, this is all part of it, that you're not totally dictated to by only having one tour type. You can actually adapt and change those tours. So of course it's fantastic for a management tool. But we'll be happy with this. We'll just say it's 16 for that particular tour. And actually, here's another fantastic function of the system. You can see in the tour notes, it will automatically say that I, Joe Bloggs, have gone in and actually changed the release from 29 to 16, and even the date and the time says 8:10 AM there. So yeah, that's obviously in American time, in Western America, Western America, on our server. But yeah, certainly it tells you, obviously, detail there when things happened. Okay. Now again, we can turn this off, or we can print tour booking information. Now, if I just click on this, actually, just to show you this, because there's nothing in there, and I actually changed these colours. I remember when we were going through the first tutorial, I just offhand changed the colour that would appear on printed documents. There you go. There's that rather garish orange that I chose, because nobody's booked on. But look here, it says tour release change from 29 to 16. So this is a very useful function. If you're sort of printing off documents for drivers, and they can see their passenger lists, and they can even, so there even are notes that can be added in on a booking, which will be covered in the next tutorial. And but also they can see, right, okay, I can see it was normally 29 going to 16, but of course I would hope within your organisation there'd be a bit better communication than just telling people on the day of a tour what's going on and there's your bus. You might want to tell them beforehand. But again, as you can see, it's a useful function. Also here you have what we call advanced options. Now really, if I just scan down a bit here, you're better just reading this little useful bit of information to split the passenger list across multiple lists. So that you can break it down, and this is basically where you would do it. It's actually from and to. This is on passenger numbers. Okay, so you can even give it a different title if you wish. And again, it's just another function. You may or may not use this, but certainly it's there for you. Or alternatively, we decide cancel this tour, and if I press this, what will actually happen? It doesn't just cancel it. You actually need to go and double check again. And even if you've decided to change your mind, we can go back. It takes us back into this menu. So at least there's a fail-safe in there to say, okay, let's do it. Let's cancel this tour immediately. And you now see the 9th of April has disappeared from that list. So there you go. It's fairly straightforward, and this is a much more simple tutorial than our first tutorial. But again, as we always say, if you want to practice and play around, you can certainly do it on your own system, but please use the demo. It's there for you to use, it's there for you to practice and make mistakes and have a bit of fun. And of course you learn from these, and you can just then, obviously, when you go into your own booking system, it's much more simple. So I'm going to sign out from here, and our next tutorial number 3, is going to be on Sales Desk, and it's also going to be on the sales portal. And also in that tutorial 3, we're going to be covering the report section as well, because the Tour Booker is not just for creating and generating tours and obviously getting the bookings in, it's also an analysis and management tool as well. So I look forward to seeing you again on our next tutorial, and thank you for watching.